All right, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be working on some fan art of DRG, and this fan art is also going to happen to be emotes for for my chat for my subscribers. So we are right now working on an image of the driller, which is in the vein of uh, in the vein of Jack Nicholson from The Shining when he goes, "Here's Johnny." I had the idea for it last night. I was, memeing with my buddies about how scouts, are afraid of drillers, how drillers just bust out of walls, and that line was referenced. And yeah, it's uh, the rest is history. So right now, we are just trying to I screwed up. I put my paint and my line art on the same layer. So we're just trying to eliminate that redundancy there. Well, not a redundancy necessarily, but we're trying to eliminate that uh, mistake, I guess. Because right now, it's not going to be, it's not going to look like how we want it to look if that's the case. So we're gonna select all of the areas where the color is and the lines are not. We are trying to we can cut a little bit of the edge of the lines out and then redraw them, but for the time being, we are going to yeah, just try to focus on this color. Then we delete that. There we go. And we'll just brush erase anything that's still left inside there. There we go. Eliminate the selection mask. And then we can go in and erase some of this other color here. And beautiful. Most of the color is gone from the line art. And the line art. And now we can paint over the line art on this layer and not have to worry about the line art getting covered up. That was my worry here, was that I would because I painted this here and then I drew the line art over it, which normally would be a pretty okay way to do it, but I decided to do all the line art before the painting so that I would have a better structure to know where to paint my colors, and with that I ended up screwing up. So we're done now with that. We can get to the painting. So let's do some color picking. I've got a brush here that's going to blend well with other colors. So we're going to be able to brush that over the top and get some nice like midtones in between the like darker section here and the brighter section here. And this section here will end up, being a lot darker. So it'll be it'll almost completely lose the yellow tone. It'll become like a brown. So let's paint in between the lines here. And for the time being, we're just going to fill out the areas where the yellow is supposed to be, and we'll change the color later. We'll add like darkness and shadows and brightness and lights. We'll fix the lighting later, but for right now, we just want to get that solid yellow saturated color in there. And then we can take this like color swatch here, these color palettes, pick those colors and uh, like get that range that we're looking for. So here we go. And now we are getting the color in. We put the line art back over it. Looks gorgeous. Okay. So this area is also supposed to be yellow. And the line art will cover up the dark areas. The hat needs to be yellow as well. Now the door is supposed to be over the top of the helmet, so we could just put the door over it. But yeah, let's just do this for now. We're just going to paint everywhere where the yellow is supposed to be. Oops. Thank you, Krita, for not letting me paint on layers that are hidden. There's a reason for that. We're doing just big brush strokes, getting as much broad coverage of this as we can. And it doesn't matter if we go outside the lines very much, because at least where the doors are supposed to be, because we are going to cover it up here. The door layer, if we put the opacity all the way up, you can see that it's all covered up. We turn the line art on. There we go. We're already getting, it's already looking a lot better. So let's go back to the, let's lock our line art, our face, and our door so that we don't accidentally color over them. For the moment, let's turn on the helmet layer and turn off the painted layer and just see what our colors are supposed to look like. All right, so this is going to be yellow on the front faces too. So let's turn that off, turn that on. Select the right layer and begin painting. Just get all inside here. And get those goggles colored in nicely. The driller is a menace, and we want to express that. And I feel like the unhinged Jack Nicholson smile here is really gonna get that across. So we're gonna get that yellow color while it's selected wherever it's going to go. And I'm glad that I did decide to separate the line art and the paint layers, because now this is going to provide me with a lot more freedom to just add the color without concern that it's going to cover up the line art and undo all the work that I did when the line art began. Now, I've created a bunch of lines, but I don't actually know what this line is. I'm thinking that it's going to be yellow. I'm going to color it in as such, but for right now, let me remove this and put the helmet layer on. Okay, yeah, so it is part of the goggles. So we'll be able to make that adjustment. Let's get a let's get some more yellow just in the bottom here, just to round this all off. And again, we can change. I just wanted to get those brown tones on one section here, just so that I could reference them later. So now we have the helmet layer painted here. Let's paint the... Should I do a separate layer for this, for the nose? You know what? Let's do it. I'm not used to doing a lot of layers, right? I don't tend to do them because I'm not used to it, but there's only one way to get used to things. That's to do it. Helmet nose. There we go. So now let's grab a nice like silverish gray color. And we're going to just color it all in here. And as we go, I'm actually liking this a lot because the the painting that I did earlier is on a layer above, so none of this is showing underneath, and I can be real sloppy with it and just do my thing, and it's already done. I don't need to be super precise, which is something that I've had to do before. So, uh, go me, I guess. So let's show the helmet again, and it looks like, yeah, we're pretty spot on there. So the helmet nose, and then I guess at this point, let's put the opacity down, turn on the helmet, and then we can delineate like the bright spots and the dark spots. But you know what? We'll go into the lighting changes later. We'll go into the lighting changes later. So for now, we will just do this, and it's looking better. It's starting to fill out. So let's check the chin, right? Because to start this, I just did a composite of 3 different images. I did the Here's Johnny image, and then I put the helmet on top of that, and then I put the chin on top of that so that I could understand better where the lines were on the face, and it helped me with my line art. It also gave me this helped me with the line art as well, because one of the things about drawing Deep Rock Galactic, right, is that something that's iconic about the art style is how defined the polygons are. So when you're drawing it, if you're drawing it without the polygons, you either need to draw it in a completely in like your own defined style, or in like your own defined style, or what you need to do is you need to get those polygons in there. So if you want to try to capture the spirit of it, you have to either, like hit it with your own style or try to match their style as best as you can. And so I'm going to try to match that style, which is why I'm working with line art rather than just doing lineless paintings. I like to do lineless paintings a lot because they can be a little bit more realistic. Drawing outlines for things is very often, um, you know, like takes away from the realism of something. So for right now, we're gonna go back to the face, and this is gonna I'm gonna rename this face line art. And we're gonna create another layer here underneath the face line art. What's going on here? Why is this happening? Face line art. Paint layer 2. Put it. There we go. I could also just use this button, I guess. And this will be face paint. Now I can try to come in and take some of the color from, for example, the chin, right? I'm going to take like a nice mid-tone here. Like this like fleshy color right here will be a nice color that I can put on the paint layer. What's going on here? What layer is this? Oh, did I create an extra layer on accident? Yeah, I did. All right, so let's delete this. We'll go to the face paint layer. We'll get rid of the chin. And we'll just start painting the face. We already selected our color here. Now let's just paint it in. And we can be really liberal with how we're like filling this in. And man, I'm already really, really liking using a ton of layers here. Like, it's giving me a lot more freedom to just put the color on and like I'm not having to put so much effort into trying to like prevent myself from making mistakes, from like going over things. Like I could even like, yeah, I could do this right here and then I see, oh well, the helmet nose layer has, you know, is like taking some of that in, so let me just make it more opaque. Oh shit. Opacity. Oh, okay, it's because I lowered the opacity of that layer. All right, so I don't think the brush opacity was what the problem was. I think it was just the, yeah, okay. So here we go. What is going on here? The door right here. Let's go to the door layer and grab onto the eraser here. Let's just erase that little spot right there. All right, so we're already getting quite an idea of what this final product is gonna look like. So let's grab a nice like white color, just a little less than white though. You don't want to have like pure white. And let's get those teeth done. Actually, you know what? Let's grab a pure white. And then we can, no, let's grab a little bit less than white so that we can use white as a highlight. So let's add a new layer here. Let's call it teeth. And we'll put it over the face paint, but underneath the face line art. We'll call it teeth paint. Line art will go on top of paint, so we'll make sure to make note of that. Teeth paint. And let's just get right in there and start coloring in. Increase the size of our brush a little bit. And there we go. Now that we have like larger area to work with, that works out really well. Color this all in. Let's make this a little bigger here. There we go. All right, another layer for the lips. And man, this is just flying past. Lips paint. And we're underneath the face line art. And we're just gonna, let's grab the, here's Johnny. Let's grab a nice, like, pinky flesh shade. And then let's make sure that we lock these other layers so that we don't accidentally paint over them. Okay. We want lips to go under the face, but over the teeth. Oops. Why does it do that? Oh, it's locked. Okay. Dang it. Okay. All right. We do have to be a little bit careful to color in the lines here. You know what? We're going to have to go over the face on this one because we cut a little bit into the lips with the face. So we'll just erase the parts that go outside the lines and back to it. Okay. A little bit difficult to know what we're like. It's a little bit difficult, like while I'm learning this, to know what layers to put over what. But I mean, as long as like a pretty easy heuristic. How do you say that word? Heuristic. A pretty easy heuristic is to say if it's on top of something else, then the layer goes on top of that layer, and just you figure out what's underneath something else, right? Like the lips are on top of the face. That makes sense, right? Like the lips are definitely not underneath the face. So we fill in the lip color. gorgeous. Looks beautiful. Okay, let's unlock the face paint layer, go into the face paint. Here we go. Let's just color in near the edges of the lips where it looks like the color doesn't quite reach. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. And on the same layer as the lips, let's also... Oof. This is... I guess we're just gonna want like a pink gum color. Like this, but a little bit brighter, slightly more red. Let's see how that looks. Doesn't look bad. I think it could be a little bit more pink, a little lighter. That's better. Don't want to bleed it over onto the teeth though. We are going to have to do some detail work. Even though we're working with these layers like this, we're going to have to still do some detail work. But not as much. Not as much. So I'm okay with that. It's a nice little upgrade. And maybe I should be working on a bigger canvas, but we're learning as we go. Art is not easy. And I'm basically winging it. Like, it's not something that I like studied or I was ever like super good at. So let's create a new layer. Let's call it inner mouth paint. And we're just gonna color it all black. Black, but not quite black. We're gonna just give it a little bit toward the gray so that it doesn't completely cover, so that the lines of our line art still stand out, right? Because it's not completely black inside of a mouth, right? It's just dark. There's still a little bit of light that gets in there. And it also has the benefit, it looks like, of highlighting the line art on the teeth. That's some really sloppy line art on the lips here, but hey, you know what? Let's go to the face line art here and clean some of this up. I don't want to get too invested in the detail work yet because we still have a lot more like of the broad stuff to take care of. If you get too into the detail work too early on, this is a problem that I have is you end up having to undo a lot of the detail work that you've already done when you eventually have to go back, do some of the broad stuff again, and realize, oh, well, you screwed up. This is fine for now. Let's add a little. Let's add a black line here just to delineate between. Let's go to the helmet rather than the face line art layer. Let's go to the helmet line art layer, and we're gonna just pre-draw our line, get an idea for what that line is gonna feel like with our finger, and then like that. We're gonna create a little bridge, and then creating a little bit more form to it. Great. Honestly, it looks great. So now let's do underneath the helmet line art and underneath the painted helmet, right? First, let's move the door up because the door is kind of covering everything. It's locked layer, so there we go. So we move that up, but then we're gonna just get rid of the color for it. But now we've got line art for the helmet, and then the color of the helmet painted, and then let's add another layer and bring it down underneath the helmet line art and underneath the painted helmet. Oh, okay, so we actually screwed up a little bit here. The face line art, which is down here and includes the eyes, that's where I drew the whites of the goggles. So I may need to erase that, but I'm gonna try to just work around it for right now. So let's grab this color, but let's just fill in this color for right now. Actually, you know what? Let's put this underneath the face line art because we are going to have to deal with this anyway, right? So let's do under goggle paint. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to take the color of the skin and we're going to put it in here first. And that's not going to be the final product, but we are going to put it in. And would you look at that? It's just so smooth. It's so easy. Just adding that color. Beautiful. And we're going to put I would put a masking layer above this and then just like add a color over it, but I have no idea how to do that. So we are going to not figure it out on stream. Maybe one day I will figure it out, but for right now, I will just do what I know works. I don't know how I'm going to do the eyes yet, so I'm not drawing over them in case I want to put that layer underneath. Like, because are the eyes under. Like, I would consider the eyes are underneath the face. So, let's draw them as such. Just slightly not white. Let's make another layer here. And then let's lower this underneath the under goggle paint. We will lock that layer. And we'll lock this layer, these layers here. Rename this. And we're going to do eye paint. And we're going to take our color here, put the whites of the eyes, and color that in. We can color in the whole thing. And we can put an iris paint over the top of it. New layer, call it. Oh. Is that what that does? Oh, that's interesting. So the I key apparently lowers the opacity by 10%. Glad I saw that move. Iris paint. There we go. What color are the driller's eyes? What color are Jack Nicholson's eyes, I suppose, is the question. Can we isolate this? Screw it, let's just... Jack Nicholson has heterochromia iridium, which means that his eyes are two different colors. Most people see the color of his left eye as blue and the color of his right eye as hazel. Okay, interesting. I've never noticed that, but let's just go with like a brown color then. Like, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Let's go toward a more like golden brown, I guess. Like toward the yellow, maybe. It's orange. God, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Princess Carolyn, what are we doing? Just muddy that. You know what? I have blue eyes. Let's just go with like a vibrant blue just because I want it to read. I want it to read in the image. So we're going to do irises on top of the eyes. We want it to read in our emote here. So let's do that. All right, let's grab a nice like dark brown color. And we'll call it the eyebrow paint. We should be able to just do this. That's beautiful, man. That is beautiful. I love that shit right there. Just paint this too. We're just gonna do this under goggle paint here. It's locked. We're just gonna paint this brown to match that color. And it's not super necessary that we do that, because we are just going to be completely like drawing over this with another mask layer. So oops. Goggle color mask. Color mask in all caps. Okay. And then let's go to the helmet color here. Let's get rid of the other layers. Isolate active layer here. Let's get a color picker for this. Like a middle tone. Okay, let's unisolate. Now let's go to the goggle color mask. We're going to take this brush and we're going to just lower the opacity here some. That looks gorgeous. That looks like exactly what we were looking for out of that. Maybe we can even add another layer here. Yeah. Let's save real quick. Now I'm going to go into my Twitch and I'm going to go into my emotes panel. And I'm going to try to just preview upload this emote. Does it read? Not great. Not great. So let's undo the second opacity layer here. Save this. Okay. It's a little better. A little better. Why is it so... Oh, dude, it's so small. Let me... When I'm done, I guess I can just... when I'm done, I can save as another thing, merge everything, and then expand and get a little closer to the face. Because right now, I think that the problem is that there's just too much of like the chin in the bottom here showing and the hat at the top showing. I think if I cut like from here across, like let's go from here across, and then like just got down to like the ball chin and like zoomed it in a little closer, I think that it would be overall. I think it's gonna read better as something as small as an emote. And maybe we just eliminate the mask layer, the color mask for the emote itself, right? So if I save this, why isn't this saving? Well, the eyes read a little better, but not a lot. And maybe if I made it, maybe if I made the file bigger to start, it would be like there would be more detail when it gets compressed down. Oh, oh. I'll have to. We'll have to see. For the time being, it's okay. Oh, I forgot to turn my music on. Okay, let's get rid of. Oh, dude, working on working on a lot, multiple different layers is just so funny. Okay, let's. Now, making the door is going to be tough because we have to do a lot of like geometric lines. Yikes. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is tough. We're just kind of like getting the outline of the shape, I guess. And we are going to eventually just kind of like get rid of most of this. Let's do some, you know what? Let's do some door line art. So this is door paint. And then we'll create a new layer on top of it. Door line art. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, we got... well, you know what? It's not really a big uh-oh. It's a, okay, this is a learning moment, right? Because we changed the shape of the door and we changed the layer of the door, right? So right now, the door is... Uh, yeah. Right now, we need the paint layer for the face paint, which will unlock. Oops. What? Oh, that's erase. That's erase. We don't want to erase. No, we don't. Let's just do that. Okay, now let's go to the eraser. And let's just erase the spaces here between the face and the door. Okay, now let's go to the helmet line art layer and fix some of this line art, which is now kind of like sticking out past. Wait. Oh, that's paint. Okay. And also we were erasing. Okay, it kind of comes down to a point. Just follow that line straight down. Pre-draw the shape. There we go. Okay, now let's go in and erase some of the paint that has gone over the lines. Here we go. This is looking fine. It's looking fine. Let's utilize the darker background here to show areas where we did not color in appropriately. Fellas, grab your nutsacks, chicks, squeeze your breasts. All that grown is still funny like going to the store on your own with rainbow money. What is this? Oh, okay. What happened there? Oh man, some of the some of the funniest stuff here is turning off the layers. Oh, what layer am I fucking on? Okay, detail time. We're just adding a little bit of texture here. We're going to use the spray tool. And just get it nice and muddy so it gets that like uneven texture of it, like metal, like the texture in the actual game. Not exactly like it, but just Oh, that's looking good. That's looking really good. All right, let's pop this up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Let's get it. There we go. All right. Well, we didn't want to necessarily have that up that high, but well, yeah, we're kind of screwed ourselves.
Who you call a hoochie?
I love Shake.